just got off the phone with Randy and found that I made a miscalculation. And that's the reason that it's going rich, we think. So, in order to fix this problem, I got to remove the engine, put in a heat barrier, and open the exit hole up here. He didn't say to open the exit hole up, but I figure as long as I got this apart, you know, this line is leaning right on this muffler too. This pressure line, I don't know if that means anything.
Well, it could help heat it.
But I need to insulate this tank.
You need to take it out of there and check it for leaks.
Yeah. A 1/2-inch wrench. Side cutter's 2-wire over there. Get this strap, zip tie busted loose.
It's cold down here.
Yeah, it's nice. So I need to do everything I can do to isolate this engine from the fuel tank. But I do like the way this thing flies. 1/4-inch wrench, got it handy. Tighten this spray bar up, this needle valve up. I don't know if we're going to be able to get back out there today.
I don't have the juice to get out there today. Thunderstorm's supposed to be moving in this afternoon here, 3:30 or 4 o'clock, Barb said earlier.
If I can't get this straightened out, I guess it'll be flying my tucker. But I think Randy's probably right. He knew right off the bat. After it goes dead rich, he goes, rear exhaust muffler, what tank? Have you had this happen before? Oh yeah. You know, when I did this, I never even thought of that. You know, at least a pipe is, you know, we get everything farther away.
Yeah, but the header on the pipe will get hot enough. I had my tank insulated just from the header. Now, I didn't expect the carbon pipe to get as hot as the metal header, you know what I mean, and radiate as much heat because you got an aluminum header that's going to really transfer a lot of heat. And that's what I did. What I did to mine was because of that. And I always put a minimum of 3 times the air outlet. Minimum.
Well, that's what I got here.
Yeah, but when you got 3 holes, it doesn't equate to that. You're probably running the equivalent of 1.5 holes, even though you got 4 of them in there.
Here. You tighten that up where you think it is. Okay, so this tube here needs to be shorter.
Once you got this close, you should never have to move it a quarter of a turn.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to move it in and out, you know, a whole turn or anything like that. Not like that.
Guess we can check it for leaks. Comes out easy. Comes out easy enough. Sort of.
Somebody said these things had a habit of breaking loose up here too.
Yeah, if you don't tie them down. Why won't that sucker come
I
out?
also heard some people complaining that it needs a bigger exhaust hole on it, but that's no bigger, that's no smaller than a pipe exhaust hole.
Okay. So
Leaking.
I don't either.
I don't see any fuel on it anywhere. You see fuel on them if it was leaking.
So we need to make something so that these holes stick out the 3/32 balsa. He said if you got a piece of foam,
Foam would,
You know,
I don't have any big foam.
like one of those takeout cartons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't have any of those either.
Put a piece of that, that's good.
That's what you need. I don't have.
Work right here.
The 2 layers in there. And together.
How about
If it'll fit, how big of a gap do you have in there from the tank and the?
.3/16? So need to make some type of insulator here. And you think that black stuff will work as an insulator? And then put a piece of silver on top?
I just use that piece of balsa wood.
With a piece of silver tape on it.
Yeah, I coated with the 5-minute epoxy or something just to seal the wood so it won't soak up any oil, and then put a piece of tape and then put it in there, slide it in there, and anchor your tank back down.
Okay. Yeah, boy. Silver. And it don't work. Get a thicker piece.
That's a piece of 3/16 if it'll fit in there.
Well, try a scrap. That was just a demonstration piece, wasn't it?
What?
This hinge thing.
Yeah, that's all it was.
Experiment. Yeah, it'll fit. Huh?
How do you know it'll fit?
Because I got a piece of 3/16 right there and shoved it in there.
Oh, it's underneath that. Oh, you got that table in there. I forgot you had that table in there. You know, I would put a piece on the front of this too.
Yeah. I wonder if I should glue it up there like that. And it would be an air gap in there then. That would be better, wouldn't it?
No, I'd try to seal it off completely.
No, I'm talking about the same level as this and then have an air gap between this and that.
Might not hurt, but it'd be easier to shove it in there and just you wouldn't have to worry about it then. You know, then you're just your little cross piece that you put up here would just hold everything in place.
Okay.
But I'd make
Up front.
up front, but you can't. It'd be you have to break it out of there every time you.
I don't even need a cross piece. If I do that and I make it that length, put it back there and have those holes sticking out of there, out of this right here, and a front on it, it'd be locked in there. It ain't going nowhere.
No. Does that sort of stick in there? Not quite tight. Wonder if you can use a piece of 1/4 inch in there.
No, it's too much.
You think?
I don't know. We'll try it. Yeah. No, it's going to have to be this because it's tight on the other side. It's not in there perfectly square.
Yeah, see if that'll slide in there without a lot of to do.
Nope. Nope. 1/16 of an inch too big. So I need a piece.
Tell you what you can do there if you want it to fit a little tighter.
Yeah. Man, we're in there. If this fixes it, I'll be happy. But I got a feeling it's going to, especially when I open up this hole.
Opening that hole is probably gonna do every bit as much as that insulation, if not more.
Boy, that's some hard stuff right there. And then it gets real soft. Do it on this side. There, we're all right. Let's cut from this side. Might not be able to make it this long, but we'll try to get
Well,
it.
you gotta be able to get it in and out of there
I'll try to get it full length.
to get the tank in, because I don't think you'll get your tank in there with that whole piece in there. I mean, you already got this piece in there, which is acting like a barrier. That's just
What?
this is your uniplow tube.
Yeah.
That doesn't have very much purchase on that piece of fuel line that goes on there.
Yeah, ain't going nowhere.
Measure the opening in my crank.
Yeah.
It's hard to do without taking it out.
Yeah. Okay. So
What
now,
scares me is I paid good money for that fucking motor, and if he knew that, I'd be pretty upset.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I'm gonna have to cut off about half of it.
You only need to go back in there about 1/4 of an inch or so, just enough to hold it. And if you make it an L angle, then you can just use your little tie down thing to lock it in there. Or you can make it 2 pieces.
Yeah.
And just make this front piece just come back here just to hold the back edge of it.
Right. So it needs to be, hopefully we got it. Coat it with CA.
I'd use epoxy myself, but I think epoxy is more fuel proof than CA is, but probably doesn't weigh any different.
Yeah, you can't get that. Have to put that in first. Nope. There it is. Did I need to cut that? Well, no, I'll be all right.
Just enough to clear the fuel line.
Yeah. So now I need a front on that.
Got 11 people watching, 4 thumbs up. Let's get some more thumbs up, guys. See 11 thumbs up there. Like, subscribe, share. If you haven't caught the drift already, we're insulating this tank from heat from the rear exhaust muffler.
That's the reason it was going dead rich. Halfway in the pattern. According to Randy. And this is Randy's motor, so he would know. Let me see the engine. Where is it? I got to make sure this is going to clear. This might be too close. Nope. Nope. That's as good. The thing that's really going to kill you guys is when I start cutting on the airplane. What?
Do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
How much pencil airplane's been cut on, hacked on.
Okay, so we want to come out right there.
Had the pipe tunnel extended, had the head hole cut out of that, which I regret doing that. I really shouldn't have done that. Didn't need it. I don't think. I think it hurt it.
You did that because you changed engines.
Yeah. when you get switching this stuff around. Right here's all the holes around here.
Yeah, this one's sharp.
And there's one that big that's sharp.
Yeah. We might use that on the cow. No, that ain't big enough.
Not big enough. But I do have one a little bit bigger. You have one this size.
Yeah, maybe.
Whatever the biggest hole is, make that the same length all the way up down through there.
Nope.
Nope, looks like it's freehand.
So I need to see if this is gonna fit now. Yep. Okay. That'll gain 70 ounces.
Yeah, you just gained another 1/8 of an ounce.
Let's just
Can
paint.
you get that tank out of there with that piece of wood shoved back up in there?
Nope.
It won't raise up enough, will
Nope. So it's gonna have to live in there.
it? Everything's gonna have to live in there.
And we'll just CA these. Let's see here. So, yeah, CA and then silver tape.
Let's put a little kicker on there for you.
Yeah, thanks.
Tell me, there's a lot of moisture in the air, smoke coming off that stuff.
Probably epoxy the front piece on it because I don't think CA will stick to CA, will it?
Not very good. I've just put enough on there, just enough to hold it where it won't fall out. That tape will hold it. If you take that tape and run it around here and down the front, it'll hold and just act like a little flap. And then your cross piece will.
I'm not putting a cross piece in. Don't need it. This has this thing captured. Okay, let's have some tape.
Watch where you set it down. Glue it to the surface.
2 pieces this way. Be less material.
I understand that.
It goes on like that. Need a piece of that too. Except, yeah.
I'll cut this about a half an inch long, and then you can lap it over the top and let help hold that in there. Wouldn't even have to glue that in there then.
You think I'll leave a little hanging over this way?
No, just run it flush. This is going to come up over, the front piece will come up over the top of the front of that. Fold it around the sides and all that's doing is being a reflective shield.
Reflection. What happened to the X-Acto knife? Over there.
There somewhere. Man, I could use a long sleeve shirt down here.
Feels good after being out there in the 1,000-degree weather.
Sure does. Wonder if I could take this all the way out of here to measure that. I was looking at that the other day when I was working on this thing.
Yeah.
I was looking at how it matched up to the opening with the venturi out. And it's about the same size as that whole big venturi opening.
Okay, so we got the first piece going in. You know, I need to heat this tube up, and bend it so that it doesn't touch the muffler. This overflow tube. Take it out and make a new one, or whatever I got to do. It's loose anyway. I need to put the soldering iron on it, pull it out, make a new one that comes around this way or whatever. So because this thing here rides up on the muffler.
Yeah.
Since we're trying to eliminate any heat away from the fuel. Oh man, I put the goop on the wrong side.
need to make a compression thing for these Venturis. Press that O-ring a little bit.
Yeah. Let's see if anybody said anything here. Nope, nobody has said a word, not a peep. Like, subscribe, share, super chat, that little dollar sign at the bottom. We haven't got any super chats this month.
Well, he did a really elaborate job on this Venturi, I'm telling you.
Let's see.
I think this is just overkill to the nth degree.
Oh yeah, that's a Randy Venturi though. Well, somebody's Venturi.
Somebody's, but that's a lot of extra work to run that on down in there and not just, do all these cuts and all that stuff. A lot of work.
That should go at $30.
This is not the way he makes all his Venturis, is it?
Yeah.
They all look like this?
Yeah.
Well, I know there's a reason for the hole size here and the bevel down in there, and it should end right at the hole.
Right.
And then it changes the taper from this side right at the hole too.
Right.
So those converge with the hole right in the apex of it.
So you cause vacuum at that little hole.
Right.
Right.
And there should be just ever so slight little flat spot in there where that hole's at. I make my Venturis like that, except I don't make them go all the way down, touch the crank like this does.
You flows the back one. Yeah, I guess I will put a piece across here, that way I don't glue this in. I want to glue that in. Yeah, this sand is 16th though. I like sanding. That was good. Well, we'll give you an inside look here, what's going on. Oh, what happened there? How did that happen? He's starting a stunt wing tomorrow. What I'm making is insulation for this fuel tank. What's happening is along about the vertical eighths or horizontal eighths, it's going rich, and it's according to Randy because the muffler is heating the fuel up. Now, I've never heard of such a thing, but it's Randy's motor and he knows, so. It's the first time I've ever had this happen.
Well, how much have you used those mufflers?
This is the first Kaz muffler I've used.
Well, there's one.
But I did have a rear exhaust muffler in my S6B Supermarine. But it was different.
Different muffler and more rim.
It had a Randy header, you know.
You had a header muffler.
No, I had a sausage muffler. The muffler slipped on to the header. Have you seen those? Oh. Okay, so we'll do that. Little kicker. There we go. There we go. No good. Okay, I need it half the width. Okay.
Let's see, that's .462.
Okay, there's the tank insulation. Now, the next thing, and this is a killer. I really hate doing this, but I got to. I'm going to open this up. And it ain't like I want to.
You're just glutton.
Yeah. You got a circle template down here?
They're all out in the garage.
Perfect.
Probably might have been what you used, you know. To really tell that, you're gonna have to take that thing apart.
What? Your engine?
And then that way to really get down in there and measure that. I have to do that because I didn't want to send it to Randy if I could know real quick some way.
There we go. There. Close. Use this pill bottle to sand it with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open that up to the biggest hole size, the whole length. I've got to bleed off some heat.
That's nice the way he does them to trees though. They can't spin or nothing in there. And locks them all right straight down the bore. All I gotta do is line up the spray bar hole.
You guys got no idea how much this kills me. I spent all that time making it look good.
I did, it's mine. That's one of the joys of model airplane dope.
Yeah.
And, easy to finish.
Yeah, you'll never know.
I didn't even refinish mine. I just coated it with epoxy.
Oh, what do you think's gonna happen there?
Sprayed some super glue, did some super glue around the edge, sanded it, another layer of super glue, and then did some epoxy on top of that, and I was done.
Well, ain't over but the crying now. Now it's just about.
That's just what I wanted you to do with it to begin with.
Yeah, I didn't like the looks of that. Okay, so not really. There's-
That's the stick like you took from me. Don't take this one.
I gave that other one back. I brought your stick back.
You did.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Hope I can get that off of there, that pen mark off of there. Now remember, when you pick up this airplane, it's gonna have a hole right on the muffler.
Yeah. I learned my lesson about that one. I'm still healing up from it. The blister hasn't peeled off yet, but it will. Let's put that home.
Yeah. Real fresh. Put it in the mill press. That probably would be good, huh? Mill. Just mill it straight.
You could hold it.
Can you hold this?
Yeah, I can put a chuck in there.
You have to make 2 passes because it's a little wider. Well, let's see what we got here. Okay, how much more weight is that going to add? Nothing. Maybe a gram. Not much. Then I got to figure out these fuel lines. So this one here is the take a little off of that one. Try that. I guess I could glue it down to the floor here. Tack it to the floor. like I did the other one. Keep it off the muffler, and then this one,
Oh, the fuel tubing?
yeah.
Yeah, one way is going that.
That's good.
Up all the way.
Yeah. But the cowl should sit, let's see how the cowl fits in this. I didn't think it was wide enough. You're gonna have to hold it in there with your finger.
No, I'm not gonna have to do anything.
Okay, I'll do it. Start over on this end.
Now I wanna start on the small end. Not the same size diameter, it's a little bit
Smaller.
smaller, so you'll have to,
Two passes. One
Yeah.
down this side and then back this side.
yeah, remember which way you're turning your knobs. Well, here's a reminder. This is the way the table goes. You turn that handle that way, like that, the table goes that way. You turn the handle this way, the table goes this way. Towards this area,
Okay, so that way goes,
that way with the table.
right, okay.
Alright, now you gotta know this too.
Oh,
If you turn it that way, it comes back, the table comes back. If you turn it this way, if you turn it clockwise, the table goes to the rear.
okay, so it's gonna be that way.
So if you wanna go towards the back, you turn it to the left.
Is it touching?
Yeah, that's right on it, not quite.
Okay, start it up. One or two.
Down,
At one?
down.
incline step, 50 incline off. See, you grab that thing and flip it around and place it in there. It's pulling like a fish. And then I cut it all good. Might want to let that thing down a little. Taking the dog out of it. Okay. Look at it. And that's what happens when your buddy has a mill. I'd have had to do that all by hand.
Well, you know it's straight.
Yeah. When you got up there, it was pulling the crap out of this.
Well, I was taking this, I was hitting all this fresh wood down here on this end. You fiberglass this and stuff, so I was putting some force on trying to get the sand through that fiberglass and all that finish. And
Let's see some 320.
there's a piece right up there. Here's one on the stick.
Got that 300. I lost my shotgun holes out the bottom.
You got the aftermath of a couple shotgun holes. Big kablooey.
It's glassed. Glassed on the inside too. Well,
You
resin.
did both sides of it?
Cloth on the outside, resin on the inside.
You might have to take a razor blade and bend that in and cut that off with a razor blade or a scalpel or something. It won't sand right there. It won't sand off.
Where?
I had to sand mine almost flat on it to get that burr to come off of it.
Now I gotta sand the inside again. Not real even. Take a little bit more weight off of it again.
You already had that thing down to what, half an ounce or
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
3/4 of an ounce?
We'll weigh it. I don't know what it weighs, glass finished and all. Probably an ounce.
Yeah, probably, which is pretty good.
It'll come out nice.
Oh, it should. A lot nicer and less sanding than you had to do if you did just cut it out with a razor blade.
Yeah, I was fixing to go, wait a minute. I was fixing to do it by hand.
Bert was saying, yeah, you got a lot of stuff down there in the basement. I said, I got a lot of stuff, took me 50 years to get. I says, and I lost it all twice. I said, now you wonder why I don't like getting rid of anything? Divorces will tear you up. And one time, my ex-wife, she took everything and set it all in the frickin' front yard.
At least you didn't set it on fire.
And the neighborhood kids came down and neighbors came down and took it all. All my dad's old airplanes and motors, and they were throwing them around like hand launched gliders and stuff. Scale airplanes, stunt planes. Oh man, I was livid. All my tools.
That should relieve some of the heat out of that thing.
Yep, by all means, that's the way to do her. take it on and look at that hot super glue now, did it? I think that's why they used to call that stuff hot stuff. Somebody burnt the crap on themselves.
I gotta tell you, Zap is a whole lot hotter than this stuff.
Oh yeah. That will instantly see smoke coming off of it. You can still get that. They got that at the hobby shop up there at Dayton Mall. They used to.
Okay. That's close enough. Now, I need this to go here without being on the muffler.
I'll have to take that
Huh?
cherry out of that motor right there and look down in that throat and see if it looks like this one. Because that very well could have been tank problems and stuff.
See it. Up against that.
See those, he puts those holes, those vent tube holes in the wrong spot right now.
Yeah, I do too. This needs to go on this side of that. I guess I cut this a little shorter.
Yeah. Take a 1/4 inch off of it.
1/8 at a time. A little more, you think?
Yeah. Take a little more.
I need to fix this. It's loose in there.
Another drop of CA.
Not quite.
I don't think it'll hurt you anything. If it was the feed line going to the motor that was sitting there heating it up, I would say you're probably going to have a problem there, but just that, no, I don't think that's going to do anything.
Okay, put it back together. I need a zip tie. Yeah, knowing that that tank is not leaking, that can't be the problem, the tank. But this heat deal, man, I hope this fixes it. I understand.
Running the burp out. The reason for burping your motor is because it's sitting on its wheels and the cylinder's down and the oil in the motor and everything gets up in the glow plug. So you turn your plane upside down, you burp the motor to clean the glow plug out.
Thought we said that once before.
We did that, but they're asking again, so we'll answer again. That is what the burp is for. And anytime your motor sits there for more than 15, 20 minutes, a half an hour, turn it over and run a prime through it. You're only running a prime. You're not filling the tank up. You're just priming it and making it fire, and do that a couple times. It cleans the plug out, and then it helps assure you're going to get a nice clean start when you go out to circle and you signal your judges. And it wouldn't hurt just because it's a pipe motor. Doesn't mean anything. You can do that with a muffled motor or any of them. It works just as well with those two.
Yeah, I do it with my Super Tiger.
It's clean it out, clean it out, get the plug cleaned out, get the excess old fuel and old oil and stuff sort of burn out of it, and then when you choke it and you prime it and all that stuff, you're fresh and good to go. A lot of times you'll see guys go out there, they just come out there to the field, they got their airplane in, loaded out of the car, it's been sitting at the house on its wheels, it's got inverted engine, or any kind of engine for that matter, and it's been sitting there for a month, and and they finally go out and fly, and they get out there on the circle, and there's flip, 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 flip. If they just burped it before they went out there and did that, probably wouldn't be flipping it so much.
Well, if this don't work this time, next time we go out, I'll be flying the Tucker.
You might still want to do that to the Tucker. There was something to be said about those front load gas tanks because it sort of did that for you. Put a floor in there.
Well, I got that shelf back there.
Yeah, well, that's the shelf is the floor I'm talking about. Normally on some of them, like, the tank would slide in from the front, and that shelf would just be longer. Then you got problems. You got to try to figure out where to put all your plumbing at and all that stuff. That gets to be a pain in the butt.
See, this fuel line is right on this. Maybe I'll tack it over here.
Is it on the metal?
It's on the muffler.
On the muffler?
The pressure side is.
I don't think you got to worry about that as much as you got to worry about the heat trapped up in there on the whole tank.
Of course, I don't know, opening up that hole.
That lets a lot more air through. So you can't go wrong with the changes that you made. You really can't. They're sort of no-brainers. Motor on this model is a PA 75. You know where I got them?
Harbor Freight.
Laying in the middle of the road.
Mm.
I stopped at a stoplight.
They're from Chena, California.
Gina, really? Stopped at a stoplight and there they sat. And I reached down, I opened the car door, reached down and picked them up. I got a buck knife that way too, complete in its leather holster. Laying in the road. Said some biker's gonna be pissed. Because I always carried a buck knife. Always. That was my one of my work utensils.
I got one.
I used to rework them and cut finger grooves in them for guys and rework the cam in them so you could just take your wrist and just flick them open and knock the pin out of them and rework the cam. I probably got a couple hundred of them like that. I don't know if one
I have with a wrench.
I formed myself with like
Did
that.
you pick up the wrench?
Which wrench?
1/2 inch?
Yeah.
Huh?
Probably. Old workhorse of a knife. They need to be cleaned up.
Come on. Yeah. I don't really like how these fit the back plate.
They don't have a ledge on them, they just fit inside of it.
Yeah. I didn't get this nose ring very straight on this. Sanded very straight. Oh well.
Cutting your own spinners and stuff, that's a pain in the butt. A lot of meticulous time.
Okay. There it is. It's back on its wheels. Dirty as hell.
Did you glue that overflow?
Huh?
Did you glue that overflow line?
Nah, I'll do it at home. I'm gonna take it out.
I've been taking mine and putting I run it through the fuselage and I put a little epoxy around and take that wheel collar and shove it over there and tighten that wheel collar down with wet epoxy behind it. I don't know if that's how you do it or not.
How I did it. It just got broke loose.
Yeah, they take abuse. And fuel lines stick on there pretty good if you haven't flown it for a week. Yeah, I couldn't get it off. See my did you notice the fog in my canopy from the weather out there today?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it fogged right up. A lot of moisture in the air.
Yeah, this airplane, Gary, was in trim at the field. It flew right off the bench except for the motor. And I'm hoping that fixes it. We've been on an hour and a half, 17 and 14.
If it doesn't, there's something else in there. Those are loosening up some.
I built so many of this airplane. You're looking at an airplane that's exactly the same as the last 4 airplanes. It just looks different. The same wing, same numbers, same geometry.
4, 5, 6.
Yeah. And it flies pretty close to the same. Let's see, I took this much weight off and put this much weight on. Let's see what it weighs. Uh-oh. Some glue on the table. Let's get a razor blade, I'll scrape that off so you don't accidentally make a boogie.
Put a little water on it, it scrapes up better.
Can't believe how stout this super glue is. You know, that piece of glass that I got from you, that same as this. I glued something to it and I knocked it off and pulled the glass out.
Oh yeah, it'll pop the glass. Gotta be careful. You know, that's all they do. You know, those crack repairs for windshields where they come out and repair your windshield cracks. That's all they're doing. They're vacuuming super glue down in that crack. They hit it with a kicker, basically the same thing. I'll bet you money.
I thought about that. You know, I got a little chip in my windshield. I thought I can just clean that out, put some super glue in it, hit it with a kicker, and
the problem is you get the thing is if you don't catch it right away, it gets dirt in there. And then it'll be a little dark spot there. But if you get it right away before it's got time to get dirty. But they use a vacuum. They got a little suction cup that they put over top of that, and it forms a vacuum in there, and it sucks that super glue down into that cut. Great.
let's see what it weighs. See if it gained any. It was 60 and a half. Oh, heavy.
hernia there.
It is
75 ounces.
yeah. Getting lighter is what it is. Oh. 1708.
Oscar L Blues.
Yep, we got a 1/4 ounce lighter. 60 and a 1/4. I don't know how it got a 1/4 ounce lighter, unless it had fuel in it when I weighed it.
Well, that's the only way it could have. Same prop, same spinner, same wheels. Different tank. We weighed it with the plastic tank in it.
I weighed it with that one. I knew it got lighter just by the number. Must be all that sanding and rubbing I'm doing on it. I'm sanding the crap out of it.
Yeah, well, you better sand some more.
Got to sand a 1/4 ounce off it, 0.28 off of it.
I want to see that.
I can do it. Won't be any paint left on it, but
There won't be a lick of paint left on it.
yep, I can see any more polishing and rubbing. Yeah, they're right there too. Bottom.
Yeah, on the top of it there.
Yeah, it's got holes in it.
So what happens when you do all them dark colors and blues and stuff like that? They show that shit up big time.
Yeah. It actually could use about 3 more coats of clear on it back here.
Before I do that, I'd sand it until I got it completely flat,
Oh yeah.
and then put it on. You probably have to put some paint on.
Yeah. It ain't. If I decide to fly this, it's getting polished, waxed, and flown. It's not getting painted. Got all the paint on it's gonna get. We're out of time. We got 1 week.
Yeah, it's not enough.
Do you remember me last year saying, better get on the stick, better get on the stick, it's gonna be the night soon? Sure enough. And then they moved it up a month.
Well, the moving it up a month's what killed us. Yeah, that just tore us up. You know, all it takes is for work or family or whatever to get involved, get in the way a little bit. So you get a flu or a cold and that get in the way a little bit, and then weather at this time of year is so doggone unpredictable. It's pathetic.
Well, I had this whole week off, but I was sick, but I worked on this some, you know.
Yeah, well, you're home and nothing better to do. You could lay there and be miserable, or you could
Do something, yeah.
do something. At least you're inside out of the weather.
Right.
You're out of the hay fever stuff, so that's what you needed anyway.
The day that I came over, they mowed the lawn right in front of my. Damn.
Go figure. Yeah.
I think you're right. I think I probably, when we were, because I do remember bending down and pulling them
I
weeds.
think you pulled some weeds out up there and rubbed your eyes afterwards, and whatever is bothering you, that may have been what it was that you pulled out of there. And then you rubbed your eyes with that, and it made it even worse.
Well, yeah, because you know when you're sweating out there, gotta get it out of your eyes.
Yeah, it only takes a second, you know. And just this COVID stuff, you know, it probably helped more people than anything, than the masks or anything. Washing your hands and don't rub your eyes or nose or something with your hand, telling people that. But this is gonna kick them in the ass here down the line.
Oh, yeah.
Hand sanitizer and stuff, because you have to have so many germs.
Right.
Your body lives on germs. And when you start killing everything off, it starts building up resistance to this stuff. And before you know it, it won't do nothing to it. No matter how much alcohol, hand cleaner, or whatever you use.
I'm just afraid them guys at work don't believe my eyes were swollen. But you saw it,
Unless you went to a doctor and got a doctor.
and it's too late now.
Yeah, it's too late now, but if they have that policy, they should have said that.
Yeah,
You know, because then you can just go in to the doctor and say,
I don't have a doctor. I'm not paying for a doctor either.
well, you got insurance.
Nah,
Yeah, you got insurance to do work.
yeah, through work.
Yeah, that's your insurance. That's for your doctors.
Fuck it.
You know, you're paying for it. Use it. I know you're just afraid they'll find something you don't want to find.
That's right. I don't want to know about it.
I don't want to know that I'm sick and don't know it. Well, they saved my life.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here. I'd been dead at 50. And I had dreams. I used to have dreams that I wasn't going to live past 50. And the way I was living my life, I wasn't going to live past 50.
I didn't think I'd make it past 30, but
I was pretty.
what is today? The 10th or the 11th?
I don't know. I can't remember. Don't know. 11th.
Today is my 30th year clean and sober.
30th
Today.
year clean and sober. Well, congratulations.
Made it 30 years.
I got not quite 17 years, 16 and 3/4 years right now.
30 years clean and sober today. I can still remember my last drink and where I was when I went into treatment, you know.
I was in the other house and I looked at Barb. It was September, about the 15th of September. And she says, "Are you not feeling well?" I said, "No." She says, "Well, there's something wrong?" I said, "Yeah, I quit drinking." And I was drinking a 12-pack a day. On the weekends, I drink 2 or 3 cases of beer. I drank beer, I didn't drink liquor. I get mean on liquor. But man, I could pour some beer down me. And I tried to pour every bottle of beer in town down my throat.
I own Budweiser, 1 beer can at a time.
Yeah, there you go. Same here. Budweiser, Busch, Pabst Blue Ribbon, whatever.
Here's a funny story. They had this, I can't remember the name of this beer, but this Canadian, my dad had a bar at one time. Did you know that?
Yeah.
They had this Canadian beer and wine salesman come down, and he had these beer bottles, and they were green. And I think it was Molson.
Molson, yeah.
But it's wine. It wasn't Molson, it was wine, white wine. And that stuff is 40 proof, 20% by volume. And we got to drinking that white port out of that, about my dad and I. Man, that's sure as we drank it all.
Yeah.
My dad and I finished a keg one time. He drank a case a day. Huh?
Yeah, I put it away. I knew that. I drink a 12-pack a day.
He drank a case a day, my dad.
And I never drank from the time I got up until I wouldn't drink until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I'd start 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but I stayed out of my hobby shop or whatever, and I'd drink until 1 in the morning. And work down there.
We drank all day long.
Oh, weekends was another ball game. That was weekday. Lights off, or I was fishing, or I was out doing something, you know, it wasn't unusual to pop a beer at 6 o'clock in the morning and by 10 o'clock, you had a pretty good one tied on.
With many mornings, I drank beer for breakfast. Let's see what the guys got to say.
I don't regret quitting though, I can tell you that.
Tim M. Okay, who is Tim N? Mosquito or something like that.
What's Tim asking?
Nothing.
Nothing.
He just put his name, Tim M. What motor? Hey, John. Got you, thanks. I don't really like this phone. It doesn't stay in focus. It goes in and out. Maybe it's because I just don't know what I'm doing.
No, it's probably all these new phones now. That's what you pay for is the damn cameras in them. You know, they got these wide angle lenses and
Oh, that's a good camera.
three different cameras in them, and
I ain't buying one $1,000 iPhone.
and what I thought about getting was one of them little periscope things you put on there that you can see 5 miles away with.
Yeah, zoom lens.
Zoom lens. That's nice because I sort of like to watch birds and stuff, and if I see something happening out there and I see birds flying around doing something, it's normally because there's some critter after them. Zoom in up there on and see what's going on.
That should let some heat out now.
Yep.
Like 3 times more than that.
I used to put a hole up here.
No, I don't.
Over my case.
Can't feel shit.
Yeah, I used to put a 1/2-inch hole up here right over top of the case to let the heat out. I've had this bubble, the finished bubble. I've had the finished bubble here over the head, around the head.
Too close.
When you have a 1/4-inch gap in there, you're saying it's too close. How much do you allow?
Got a little ding right there. I have to heat it up.
How much do you allow?
Got a little ding right there. I have to heat it up. Right there.
And we'll come out there. Keep sanding. I feel for you.
Getting there.
Takes forever and a day. Now you're getting to the point where you're gonna start pinpointing spots.
Yeah.
You got a big wide area done. Now you got this little spot here, and that little spot there, and that little spot
Yeah,
there.
you can see it up in here. I mean, these open bays are the tough ones.
Yeah, they need a bunch of work. I don't know why this came out. Why this didn't come out as smooth as mine did, because we painted all this shit here.
I got to stay off of that. See how it's.
You gonna cut through it? Did you cut through it?
No. But it's getting thin.
Getting thin, you can see it.
That's white.
That's what you call going too far.
Yeah.
Or it's a pop mark that's got buffing compound in it.
You know, now that I think about it, I left all that paint here. I need to take that some of those colors with me so I can touch this up. My little jar of white, a little red, a little blue. I left all that.
Them boxes are out in the garage. I need to try to get, I was going to go to Harbor Freight and I was going to buy another spray gun. They got that twin pack, and I really don't want the twin pack because it's got a 20-ounce gun and it's got a 2-ounce gun.
Yeah.
And I like the way that 2-ounce gun's made, and I can't help but believe that it doesn't do a superior job than what we've been buying from them. And I want that small gun. The big gun's made just like it. Sort of a pewter color. It's not chrome or anything, and they got like anodized blue tips on it. It isn't the frills of it. It's the way they got the adjustment screws and stuff. Man, it's got 3 screws up here in the back of it. and then an air screw in the bottom. So it's different. I guess one of them's a fan, one of them's, paint amount, and one of them's trigger pull. So, but the way it's configured, I think it might be better than the conventional little cheap Harbor Freight HVLP guns, although they work pretty good.
Are you gonna need my airbrush?
Am I gonna need it?
Yeah. Well, today's Friday. Well, I'll be back over tomorrow anyway.
Yeah. I gotta shoot clear over that bell, at least, at a minimum.
Take the airbrush and.
Take a chance and code it.
Well, if it blushes, it's only gonna be a blush that big. No big deal. Use that clear that I gave you, that I brought, because it's got the most retarder in it.
Yeah.
Paint it tonight when it's humidity's down. About 1 o'clock in the morning.
I'll be up about that. Yeah, after the garage has stayed closed and the air conditioning's gotten out there and sort of conditioned the air in the garage.
I'm happy with this. This turned out good. Now if it'll just work, but I think that's a good. I think what Randy said is probably, he knew exactly what he described it to a T. Because he said along about the 8s, it'll go fat and it'll stay fat for the rest of the flight.
Yeah, he also said some stuff about pipe length. If it's blowing fuel out the intake, the pipe's too short.
Yeah.
And then it does something else if the pipe's too long for the RPM that you're running and the load that you're going on. He got some information there that's worthwhile to listen real close to. And he's the one that told you about the overhang on your handle to change that to help the bump.
Yeah, that worked too.
Yeah. I mean, little things like that, man. You got to steal. Everybody's got to steal all that stuff. Everybody should steal all that stuff as much as they can. Load your mind up.
Need to write it down and make a book for everybody to get.
They're making a Brodeck book. Did you see that?
Yeah, Zamboni. Bob Zamboni.
When Paul gonna get his book out?
Never.
That thing's been in the making for 15 years.
At least.
I think they have a hard time getting a publisher to publish them. That's
Yeah, they're not going to sell that many.
If they sell
100.
1,000, they'll be lucky.
If they sell 100, they'll be lucky. At $125,
They might not sell 100.
right?
That's a lot for a book. But these publishers, they don't want to produce less than 1,000 books at a time or something like that. They don't want to set their equipment up to do 100 books. Or if they do, they're going to charge you out the yin yang to do it. Now, you can get anything done for enough money.
Definitely. Well, guys, I guess that's it. I guess I'm going to go home and sand and buff, and we'll be back at the field tomorrow or over here or something. Appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, share. We'll see you later. Fair winds, tight lines.
Bye.